Hello, and thank you for finding me on YouTube. You're looking for probably a property that's in a USDA lending area that you can purchase at 100% financing. So if you're looking in the state of California, specifically in Riverside County, there are designated areas that you can buy a house with absolutely no money for the down payment. That means 100% financing of whatever the purchase amount is. It's called the USDA. Yes, it's part of the United States Department of Agriculture. It's like the meat that we know of. They have a division called RD, which is rural development. They want to promote housing in rural development areas of the entire United States. Today, I'm going to talk about the one in Riverside County here in California. So the USDA is a great program. It's a purchase program. You do not have to be a first-time home buyer for this, but it has to be an owner occupied. You cannot buy a property in a designated area for an investment or second home purposes. It's got to be an owner occupied purpose. And it's got to be there's several caveats to the USDA. They have some underwriting guidelines, just like all the other programs do. But the USDA has some caveats, like cannot make $200,000-$300,000 a year. There are income limits, and they do change. And as of late, all they've been doing is obviously going up. They haven't gone down based on how many people are in the household. And they're a good, healthy amount of income. So if you're at like 200,000, 175, this program, you're not going to qualify because you make too much income for that program. You do not have to be first-time home buyers. It has to be designated. The home has to be designated in a specific approved lending area, and that's based on population. So I'm going to have the link below on this site here where we're at. This is the site. It's going to be blued right here that you want to find the property. It needs a property address. So I have one here in Riverside County. If you know the exact property that you're looking at, it's got to be in a rural area, and you'll see the map when it pops up. I'm going to hit go. This address is located in an approved area. These shaded areas, they're not approved. So if you see this address, I'm going to scroll out here for Riverside County. This is approved. So all the shaded areas in Riverside County is not approved in the USDA lending area. But you can see you can get really, really close down to the streets level. See the streets here. So you can find where it starts and where it ends and where it begins right here. Right there is where it all starts. So it ends there for the USDA, and it starts the approved areas here. So you can go all the way down to the street if you like. If you get an address that you think it's on the cuff of approved or not approved, it's going to say this is not an approved eligible area. But this one is approved, as you can see here, and this is what it will say. And this site is updated regularly, so those houses will be approved. But all these areas that are shaded are not approved in the USDA lending area. But you got a lot of area here in Riverside County that is approved. And the most populated ones that are getting there that you can take advantage of, here's Mead Valley, Lake Matthews, Nuevo, Homeland, Romeland area, Winchester. And I know those are getting a little pricey areas in Riverside County. Glen Oaks, and then you get down into San Diego County. But all these areas out here, Anza, I know a lot of people want to move to Anza. But if you are not commuting very far, if you're retired and looking for a place that's not heavily populated, then these areas in Riverside County is probably a good area for you to look at to be able to purchase. But you can see everything here. Temescal Valley, it's approved. Woodcrest, all that stuff you can see is not getting approved, but all these little areas here are, and I know there's a lot of hills here and not a lot of homes back there, but that's something you probably possibly can look at. But Riverside County has a lot of areas that you can look at the USDA, 100%, no money down. The great thing about USDA, and this is the only purchase program in the United States that will allow you to finance your closing costs. But, so if you're buying a home for $300,000, the appraisal comes in at $310,000. There's that $10,000 worth of equity that you're walking into. We lenders can finance your closing costs in that freed up $10,000. So you have no money for the down payment. You don't have any money for the closing costs. Basically, you're buying the property for an appraisal and a home inspection. which right in today's market it's about less than $1,000. But those things the stars have to align, the moons have to align, that you're buying it at a certain amount of 300, it appraises much higher than what you agreed upon. We can use that freed up equity. So that's a great program. Now, you as the buyer and you, once you hook up with a realtor, they're going to have to really scour the areas that you want to buy in to find those values in those homes to where you get a good purchase amount as well as it appraises higher than what it's agreed upon. So that's something that you can look at. But if you're looking in Riverside, Moreno Valley, Corona, Norco, Eastvale, these are not approved areas. You can see right there, Sun City, Menifee, Marietta, Wildomar, these are not approved areas. But if you're looking, I know Mead Valley, it's coming up, very old area, but they're building out in here. So if you are looking in Paris, why don't you look at Mead Valley or look over here in Nuevo, and you can really hone down in on the streets, like I said before. Um, Let me see here. Going towards Winchester. I mean, here's some streets that it can get right down to the streets. So you can see that you can go right down the street, and these are approved areas. But you go over here more to the left, what's that? Briggs Road west of that, it's not approved, but Briggs Road to the right of that, east of that, is approved. So you may just have to go over one little street. But USDA is a great, great program in Riverside County in California. There are a lot of cities. It's just that you, as the buyer, if you're looking in those areas and you want to own something, the commute's not going to be a problem for you. If you're retired, you work from home, this is a good program to look at. But you're going to have to do, obviously, some driving. But Cabazon's a great area. So if your family, you're looking at Indio and Palm Springs, Beaumont, Desert Hot Springs, over there in San Bernardino, it's all approved. So that's something that you can look at if you need to want to stay in the Palm Springs area. Maybe you need to go out a little bit to Cabazon. Desert Hot Springs is right there, Thousand Palms north of the 10 freeway. Great area to buy in if you want to stay in that particular area. Now, if you want to move into Moreno Valley, this is not the program for you. You're going to have to find something that's a little south of that, like Lakeview and Nuevo. Homeland, Romeland, Winchester, those are areas that are approved on the USDA for now. The USDA will change the income limits for the guidelines. They have a debt ratio limit that's pretty healthy, but I don't want to give you all the specifics on what they are today because they do change. The income limits go up or go down. As of late, they've done nothing but gone up. So they don't want you to have $200,000 in verifiable income and then get you into a home. That's not what it wants. It wants somebody with good income, though. This is not like you're capped at $50,000. Today, you're around $100,000 in Riverside County and more, depending on how many people are in your home that's going to be living in it. But there is a debt ratio requirement. You don't have to have any reserve requirements. That does help increase that debt to income ratio if you have some reserve requirements. So that's a good thing. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer, but there's some caveats on you can't own another home now, but there's a caveat to that, and that's where we need to talk. But if you don't have a home, you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. This program you need to explore if you're looking in those rural areas, and if you're okay with that, let's have a conversation about you purchasing a home in an approved city or area of Riverside County in California on the USDA program. My name is Nathan Rufty. Our company and myself are versed on the USDA program. I'd love to have a conversation with you if you're looking in these specific areas that are approved in Riverside County and San Bernardino. That's no money for the down payment. You do have to open up escrow with what's called an EMD, earnest money deposit, and that's where you got to talk to your realtor about that. But if you put in $2,000 or $3,000 to open up escrow and you're doing 100% financing, that $3,000 or whatever you open up escrow with, that money is going to be applied towards the closing costs. Now, the other thing, if the appraised value comes in higher than what you agreed upon, then you'll get that money back if we do not need it. So that's where you really got to scour the area that you're looking in and with your realtor to find a good deal for yourself that you're going to be able to purchase a home for around $1,000. That is a bargain. That is great. If you're limited on some cash, look at the USDA program, but it's going to push you to an area you may not want to buy in, you may not want to live in. But if you want to own a home that's in close proximity of family, friends, employment, then this is a program you may need to explore. I would love hearing from you. Call me, text me, email me. All my information is below. Let's talk about the USDA no money down purchase program here in California. Thank you very much. Have a great day.